Bro, I hope Aaron Taylor Johnson isn't watching WandaVision because I know that man is crying hard right now. On the other hand, I learned the trick. You could say I'm a wild card. Hey guys, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is Chris. WandaVision episode 5 just went ahead and dropped. Oh my freaking god. Marvel is really going ahead and showing off just how creative they can freaking be with their cinematic TV universe. What I'm going to be doing here for you guys is breaking down episode 5 of WandaVision, as well as touching upon the Easter eggs or little hidden details that you might have missed, theorizing, trying to figure out what exactly is happening in this show because so much is going on now. And yes, just to address the elephant in the room, I'm not in my regular studio, I'm out of town. But even then, I still had to bring you the WandaVision. I brought my two best friends here because you can't travel without protection. This girl gone bad though, so I'm gonna take her away from Vision. So be sure you guys leave me your opinions down below on what you thought of episode 5 of WandaVision. What are you thinking about the show? Are you digging it? What are your theories on what's going on right now? And tell me what your favorite moments were. And quickly, as a disclaimer, I want to go ahead and say, yes, I am aware there are major leaks out there for WandaVision, but for the sake of fun and not really trying to reward those leakers, I'm not really going to be addressing that stuff. I did happen to see some of it just because, well, it was everywhere for a second and some of you guys were sending it in my DMs. Thank you. So don't worry, not showing any leaks or really talking about that. Just gonna ignore it and enjoy WandaVision the way we should be. Alright, so with WandaVision episode 5, we are finally diving into the 80s, and I'm loving this mixture that the MCU is finally doing where we're half sitcom, half Marvel movie, mixing it all in perfectly together. Because one of the things I had been most complaining about with WandaVision is, yeah, I like the sitcom stuff. I grew up watching some of that, but also I want to know the story, and I was getting so tired of only the last 5 to 3 minutes of every WandaVision episode there was something to move that story forward. With episode 5, almost every single minute is used to move the story forward so far, making it my favorite episode. But we do open up with Wanda and Vision struggling to be new parents here with Wiccan and Speed, or as they're known now, Billy and Tommy. This right here is finally the answer to why we're jumping decade to decade, and that is so that the kids can mature along with those decades, as we saw here where they automatically changed in age. I thought we were going to be doing the thing where they were going to change ages every episode, not really twice in one episode, but instead of playing along with this sitcom vibe, we get one of our first clues to, again, what is really going on in the grand scheme of things with Westview, and that is when Agnes, the friendly neighbor, stops by, and there happens to be a little mix-up in dialogue. What we found out last episode is that Wanda seems to very much be in control of Westview, is well aware of her surroundings and what is going on, and we all had the theory that Agnes was also somehow manipulating Wanda, using her to her advantage with this little reveal of what happened right in front of Wanda, where Agnes addresses Wanda like, oh, we kind of messed up where we're going here. You want to start over? Almost like an actor would on the set of a sitcom. If they messed up their line or they messed up their scene, they would start from the top. This lets us know that Agnes and Wanda are in cahoots together, and leading me to believe Wanda made a deal with the devil. It's been the #1 theory going around with WandaVision fans that Mephisto is involved in this series. I don't even know why we're pretending like he's not going to be the surprise villain at the end of this. But it looks like it wasn't just Wanda's powers alone that created Westview, manipulated what we've just found out is thousands of people in this city now. Like, I thought it was a couple dozen, maybe a few 30 people. Thousands of people in this city. Wanda, whoa! At some point in between Avengers Endgame and the beginning of WandaVision, it looks like Wanda was visited by Mephisto or Agnes, probably both of them together, offering the deal to Wanda. If you want Vision back, we can give that to you, but there's going to be a price, and there's also a limit to how we can make this happen. And the ultimate cost isn't just manipulating thousands of people or being trapped within this hexagon bubble. It looks like she's willing to sacrifice her kids, because that's what Agnes was trying to get her hands on. And when Vision rejected that idea, she was like, oh, we got to start over because I'm supposed to get these kids. But as the episode continues on, we get an 80s style opening for this sitcom. Gotta say, one of my favorites, because it introduced us to horrifying baby Vision. Like, we thought dead Vision was terrifying. Imagine that kid in your classroom. We cut to outside the bubble where we're treated to the sword facility and the aftermath of what happened with Monica Rambeau once she was kicked out. Again, they're laying the seeds here of what is set to come and the birth of Monica's powers as Spectrum. You can see it right there from one of the nurses who is attending her, who's saying her x-rays aren't specifically coming out right. So it looks like Wanda might have gone ahead and awakened the powers within Monica Rambeau, because something more important that we learn in this scene is how the rules of this hexagon works. Good old Darcy, who basically is the voice of the audience. Like, I cannot tell you how many times Jimmy Woo and Darcy say things that I literally have heard fans say out loud. Just the stuff mentioning how powerful Wanda is, but she's never shown that power before, but now all of a sudden she does. The fact that she could have gone ahead and killed Thanos, something that Kevin Feige has told us before in those exact words. Like, really, I'm starting to think that the lines that they give Jimmy Woo and Darcy are just taken straight off of Twitter and Reddit from regular fans. We learned that Wanda isn't creating stuff, but instead manipulating whatever reality goes in. We find this out with Monica Rambeau, knowing that she went in wearing a bulletproof vest, and the clothing she was wearing when she was knocked out was made of the exact same material that she went in with. This new rule of how the hexagon works is going to become very vital and important in later episodes, especially when we get to more modern times, because we see one of the clever ways S.W.O.R.D. gets around being able to throw technology in there without it being manipulated is just throw in technology that matches that time period, which is why they went ahead and used a drone from the 80s to go inside. Once we move forward to modern times, they're going to finally be able to bring in that tank that they were theorizing, and we have seen it in past trailers. Moving to when we get to the briefing in the S.W.O.R.D. where they go ahead and give us basically a rough summary of Wanda's life, even going ahead and ignoring her superhero name Scarlet Witch, which I think this is the MCU's way of telling us, like, no, we're not calling her Scarlet Witch, she's Wanda now. Meanwhile, back in the sitcom reality here, we are following the storyline of the kids adopting a little stray puppy by the name of Sparky. Now, yes, this is an actual dog in the comic books that becomes a family member for Vision and Wanda. Unfortunately died, but the exact same thing also happens in the comic books, to where Vision even brings the dog back to life in the same way he was brought to life, kind of giving us a Vision dog. I'll be really curious to see if they actually go ahead and do the same thing with Sparky come the next episode and they bring him back to life, or they actually just went ahead and let him pass off. More importantly, what's going on is Vision is realizing his surroundings don't make a lot of sense. He's starting to question stuff, but one of the biggest giveaways, and again just goes to our theory that Wanda and Agus are actually working together, is Vision gets kind of bothered that Wanda is free to practice magic in front of her. Wanda feels so comfortable to do this because she actually befriends Agnes, and if our theories are correct, is thankful to her because she helped her make the deal that made living with Vision and her family a reality in this bubble. Going a little off topic with WandaVision, we do get some interesting insight to what is happening with Captain Marvel when Darcy, Jimmy Woo, and Monica Rambeau are having a conversation of how powerful Scarlet Witch is. Jimmy Woo brings up Captain Marvel, but if you really pay attention to Monica's face, it does not look like she has the same love for Captain Marvel that she once did when she was a child. Don't forget, the kid who we saw in Captain Marvel is Monica Rambeau, and with her not really wanting to talk about Captain Marvel, kind of rolling her eyes and shrugging her off, makes it seem like she is not happy with her at all. And now knowing that she's showing up in Captain Marvel 2 alongside Miss Marvel, we're probably going to get some backstory of why their friendship fell out and why they no longer speak to each other. But really, I think the jaw-dropping moment that I was like, holy crap, the entire time is when Wanda finally goes ahead and exits the bubble to confront S.W.O.R.D. and be like, y'all need to stop messing with my home. This is my place. Get out. Wanda really has gone full evil, selfish, and you know what? I kinda absolutely love it. We're really starting to get close to the line where Wanda is almost becoming irredeemable, where she goes ahead and manipulates all the S.W.O.R.D. soldiers to go ahead and point at the director of S.W.O.R.D. I literally thought they were gonna go ahead and fire, and that was the end of it, and goodbye good Wanda. Because you pair that up with the scene that we also finally got to see that Kevin Feige told us about was supposed to be the end credits for Avengers Endgame, with Wanda breaking in to S.W.O.R.D. headquarters, taking away the body of Vision. This really just does not seem like Wanda, and I'm kind of like Jimmy and Darcy, where I'm trying to believe maybe she's being manipulated, controlled by Mephisto or Agnes, or heck, that could be Agnes disguising as Scarlet Witch through some sort of spell. But her reasoning behind stealing Vision's body makes a lot of sense. Vision himself said he didn't want to eventually become a weapon, and in the hands of S.W.O.R.D., he would have been used somehow as a weapon, at least his lifeless carcass. But now that we know how the rules of the hexagon works, where you take existing matter, reshape it into whatever needs to be formed, that's how Vision came back to life in a way that makes sense. If you go back to Avengers Infinity War, where they were trying to figure out a way to keep Vision alive while taking the Mind Stone away from him, Wanda basically went ahead and did that. Once the Mind Stone was removed, she repurposed everything that Vision was, his organic cells mixed with vibranium, the mind he had left, the AI of Jarvis, and and made Vision come back to life without the need of the Mind Stone. But from there, since we're finally back to the sitcom lifestyle, it would not be an episode without a commercial being thrown in, and if we continue to follow the trend that each commercial is a hint to Wanda's past or trauma, it's kind of obvious to see what this commercial was about. It was a fake brand for the name Lagos. That's a paper towel brand, and Lagos is actually something that was mentioned early on in the episode when they were debriefing Wanda's backstory, and it's the opening sequence of Captain America Winter Soldier where Scarlet Witch made an error, caused a lot of destruction, and people saw her as a menace. And even just the tagline for the name of this brand of paper towels, for when you make a mess, you didn't mean to. That's exactly what happened. Wanda made a mess that she didn't mean to. Getting to some of the final shots here, I love how Wanda tried to end the argument with Vision by letting the credits roll, and we still see them fighting. Just them one another raising their voices at each other, and Vision saying, I don't even remember who I was before this, is kind of heartbreaking, because that means he doesn't remember Tony, he doesn't remember fighting in the Avengers, he doesn't know who Ultron is. He's just as big of a victim as anybody else in this town, and if we're going with that theory that they just went ahead and repurposed all his materials into this new body, it would kind of make sense why he would not have his old memories. But even before this argument occurred, both Billy and Tommy went ahead and brought up the great point that, Mom, you can fix the dead, you can bring them back. You did it with Vision, probably gonna do it with Sparky, and since we keep non-stop bringing up your brother Pietro, it was only a matter of time. And holy crap, man, I really thought it was going to be Aaron Taylor Johnson, but instead it was Evan Peters playing Quicksilver, to where we immediately go, oh my god, they got him instead, the multiverse version, and Darcy went ahead and said it best. Oh my god, man, WandaVision is blowing it out of the water. So much to dive in here though, because is Evan Peters actually playing Quicksilver? Is he a multiverse version, and that's how they're introducing the multiverse with future Spider-Man showing up? Because we know that WandaVision connects to Spider-Man 3. Even then, it's a little confusing because they made it clear she can't just make stuff appear. So just because she wanted her brother back doesn't mean he'll show up there. They kind of need his dead body or someone else and turn them into Pietro, which is what could have happened with Evan Peters' character. Is she wanted her brother back, so she made a random citizen in that town turn into Pietro. So yes, even though this is the same actor and it's the Quicksilver from the Fox universe, it is not Quicksilver from the Fox universe. It's just the same actor coming in to the MCU. So any of that backstory that you know with Quicksilver in the Fox universe, forget it and pretend like it doesn't exist, because WandaVision is not going to acknowledge that universe or anything like that. They're just going to say, this guy's Quicksilver, because we know you guys kind of wanted that in this universe. I still wouldn't worry if you really wanted Aaron Taylor Johnson to come back as Quicksilver, because I mean, that's the perfect way to introduce the multiverse, is two characters who are the exact same person, but played by different people from different realities. That's how you explain it to the general public. But that is just everything that happened in WandaVision episode 5, guys. Like I said, I absolutely loved it. Crazy good episode. Every minute was just making the story go further and further. And I think from now to the season finale, it's just going to be edge of your seat stuff. I want to know your guys' thoughts and theories down below. Be sure to like and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Film Review. As always, I'm Chris. Take care.